What's up, gang? I just got done eating some pizza. Man, it was good. But so tonight I listened to Sandhagen on Joe Rogan the first time. I think it was like episode 128. But Sandhagen's been on there twice. And the first time he went on, I actually have listened to this a couple times recently, and I made a video the other night when I listened to it, and I just didn't get around to uploading it. I just reminded myself as I was about to explain where in the course of time that was. So the course of the interview is he lost to Aljo, but it was after the loss to Aljo, but he had a win or two after that. Somewhere in there. But he hadn't fought Peter Yan yet. I think it was right before he was going to fight Dillashaw, and he didn't know Dillashaw was going to be the opponent. Anyways, he says a lot of cool things in there. I'm not even going to get on the topic about where I made my other video. It was just more affirmation. It's great when I get ideas and then I find them articulated in different ways or used by people who are legitimately successful. It's just really rewarding. But these aren't affirmation ideas today. They were just something different. The one I'm just going to talk briefly on because I'm really going to have to spend some time thinking about this. I want to try to maybe apply it to myself. He names his egos. That's how it gets portrayed in the conversation. And it's like, but he's sort of calling his egos different, what I would call them like different traits of personality. But it's like he's got the one that's lazy and doesn't want to go as hard. It's like, oh, we don't have to do all this. We're doing good. That one had a name. And then he's got like, remember Samson's the one that when he's feeling irritable and he's angry. And it's like, that's one I need to address. But at first it didn't make any sense why he names them. And then he said, he's like, it's easier to address those traits when I'm almost thinking of it as a different person. Like I can call him out on what's wrong. I can be like, all right, Samson, we're not going to be mad right now. Maybe in like 2 hours at practice when I need to go hard and I run into that dude that I need to whoop. But not right now. And by like giving him that, is it personification? Is that the right word? Where you give like human traits or whatever to an inanimate object, even though, I don't know, that's a tricky way to word it. I think you guys get the idea though. But by giving them names, he comes up with a way to talk to them or address them. And I think that is a very, very smart concept. I gotta think about that some more before I can say a whole lot more to it, but I really like that idea. Now, the other idea is one that he just can't, he said it, and I actually knew this already. I'd heard him talk about it a bunch of times, but now I'm starting to have my own opinion shifting from it. So when Corey lost to Aljo, prior to that, he said he would be peaceful and at ease and like no pressure when he goes and gets into the cage to fight. You know what I mean? After losing to Aljo, he said it changed him. I'm wanting to say he read a couple different books and whatever. He's obsessed with war and warriors from ancient times. But he basically shifted his mentality to be, it's either them or me. It's him or me. And he goes dark in his thoughts into how much he wants to hurt someone, and basically spends time visualizing it all playing out. Like he does what I would call meditating, and that meditating stuff works. That's a whole different video. Sorry, get so excited. I feel like I have so much in common with Sandhagen. But all right, so Corey loses to Aljo, and then he shifts his mental outlook going into fights from being at ease and calm, and he described it as being flat. He gave it a negative outlook after the loss. Now, mind you, he won a whole lot before then. Sorry, man. I'm in Arkansas. I open the window or the door once, mosquitoes go everywhere. So he lost to Aljo. That's his one loss under that mindset that I'm aware of in the UFC. Changes his mindset to it's them or me. And I feel like I can see a little bit of the ferociousness in it. So he had that mindset going into TJ, and he didn't speak this in the episode. And I need to like rewatch the second episode to see if he had any comments on this as time passed. But I remember when he lost to TJ, how he didn't feel like he had lost, but the dude takes ownership, and that's one thing I really love about him. He was like, I don't really feel like I lost that fight. I can see how aesthetically it might look like I didn't win, but he's like, it's hard to argue when you tear someone's knee and they have to have surgery and they're out for a year that you didn't win that fight. Beyond that too, like just the striking and everything. All TJ did was hump his leg. But that's how it goes, I suppose. He also turned around and lost to Peter Yan in a very, very close fight. And that's no disrespect to Yan, man. Yan came back in that fight. I have to give him props. Sandhagen came out there and I haven't like rewatched this recently. I just remember it. Sandhagen put a clinic on in the first round, and he kept doing it in the second. And the third, man, Peter Yan he turned his offense on. And that was a hell of a fight, y'all. That was a hell of a fight. But what I'm trying to get at is he's lost more since he's changed his mindset to this. He's got to hurt them. And what my other video was actually about is like overthinking fighting. Like, I don't want to get too off track and make this too long, but my whole philosophy that I teach and train and practice, when I spar, I say like when I touch gloves with someone new, when we're about to spar, I always tell them I go light and have fun. Doesn't always seem to get the message across to them, but by being calm and relaxed and just seeing everything, I can fight so well, specifically in striking. If I intently want to hurt someone, and this is mixing into the video I didn't upload. It's like I get to where I can go rounds and never get touched, and I can touch them 10 to 20 times. Depends on their level and how much they're coming at me. But then I shifted at one point in time, and I was like, I want to go forward and just hit them at will whenever I want. And what I found is I started going from practices where I'd go the entire practice without getting hit, or maybe only hit once or twice, to where I'm getting hit almost as much as I'm hitting my opponent. And I'm even here now that I'm teaching and have my own setup and everything. It's like I got a real good consistent partner, and he's bought into the things I'm doing. He's using his eyes really well. So now our rounds can stalemate a lot. And I'm trying to build up his mental thing. So I don't think he believes he's bad, but I don't think he realizes how good he is at striking now. And the only thing I really gave the dude was to use his eyes. He had already been fighting for a decade. But now we'll stalemate in our rounds. Like, we will literally just jab each other in the face at the same time. And it's like, we can end a round where we each land 3 punches. And it's crazy compared to what I've done before. So in these last couple of weeks, I've been trying to force going forward, working on going forward. And what I'm finding is I can get in there and land stuff, but I'm not landing them at the dominant percentage that I would in my normal relaxed stance. So like in a relaxed stance with someone, it's like, say it's a 3-minute round. I might touch them 10 or 15 times. I promise they might touch me once or twice. And I'm not trying to brag or be cocky. It's just kind of how it works out with my striking. When I start trying to force this, if I touch them 10, I'm going to give it a number to make it easy. If I touch them 15 times, they're probably touching me 8 to 12 times. And is that really what I want to do? You know what I mean? So as I'm tying all this together in my head, I'm really just being more firm and more belief in being relaxed and going light. Like, I have cracked and stunned and stumbled more people on accident when I'm going light and just having to be precise and they pick up the speed and my precision's more on point, or I increase my flurries. Like, if I feel like I'm getting the better, I'm only going to really hit you like 2 to 3 times in an exchange. But if you keep coming and we keep going and you're making these moments last longer and you're throwing harder or something like that, then that exchange, I'm going to land 6. Like, I'm going to let my flurries build. I don't know where I was going with the flurry part. I keep getting all these exciting ideas and then my brain wants to jump to one thing to another. But it just seems like it's more beneficial, no matter how I look at it, to stay relaxed and stay calm and not try to force things. And that sounds so simple, but when you're alive and in the fight, it's a point of view for me now where I'm live and in the fight, and I guess I just want to do something different. I want to really force the action and get in there and bang, because it can be kind of fun, especially at practice when you have good partners. But to actually win and compete and stuff like that, you've got to be calm. I'm so sold on that. You have to be calm. You have to be calm and relaxed. And all you're doing when you feel angry and you got that, I'm going to hurt them, I'm going to break them, all you are doing is frying your nerves. You are frying your reaction time. That adrenaline just pulls nerves down. And one of these days I'll get a better word for nerves, but nerves is the word for me. And it's like, GSP explained this once, and I was like, I know exactly what he's talking about. I forget what GSP was saying. They have a drill at the Performance Institute where like the wall's got a bunch of lights. It's got like a little cone. You got a wall, and say like there's 5 rows of like, you know those little plastic cones that are like on the top of a golf cart and they flash, a little flasher? It's like that's on the wall. And there'll be like 5 in a line, 5 in a line. There'll be like 25, 30, 40 on this big wall. And when a certain light lights up, you have to hit it. And when another light lights up, you don't hit it. Like, it's important that you don't. Like, those are saying don't do that. And he's talking about when he does that, if he does and he works on that, and then he goes to spar a couple hours, right, his reaction time is fried and he can't perform as well. Just like if you were to go and run a marathon before you got in a fight, like your calves are going to be tired. The same thing happens in our head and no one ever talks about it. That adrenaline and that grr and that anger, all that depletes so much energy and out of here. And it works for a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, adrenaline rushes are real and stuff like that. But you can't fight your best fight like that. You're playing a whole lot on luck. At least that's my thoughts. All right, this went a little longer than I thought, so I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all have a good one.